Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. It's Thursday, February 26, 2026, and here's what's moving crypto today. A sharp revival in spot Bitcoin ETF demand. A first-of-its-kind Bitcoin rights bill in Indiana heading to the governor's desk. Telegram's wallet turning on vault yields for BTC, ETH, and USDT. Ethereum researchers sketching an aggressive multi-year roadmap to faster blocks and finality, and a broader market pop as Nvidia's blowout quarter ripples across risk assets. Let's get into it. Story 1. Spot Bitcoin ETFs just posted their strongest daily net inflows in 3 weeks, about $506.5 million, with green prints also showing up in Ethereum, XRP, and Solana ETFs. That's notable because after several choppy weeks, it suggests institutions are tiptoeing back from defense to cautious accumulation. One desk put it this way: we're seeing sentiment stabilize as allocators buy the dip rather than de-risk. According to the block, the inflows hit Wednesday and helped put a floor under prices going into today's session. Source: the block. Let's connect that to price action for context. Bitcoin pushed as high as roughly 69,500 before easing to the high 67,000s, up around 4% over 24 hours at one point. Ether outperformed with mid to high single-digit gains, and XRP also caught a bid. Market strategists pointed to spillover from Nvidia's stronger-than-expected results. When AI stocks rip, the whole risk-on complex, including crypto, often catches a tailwind. Source: Barron's. Story 2. Indiana is on the verge of codifying a Bitcoin rights framework. House Bill 1042 cleared both chambers and now heads to Governor Mike Braun for final sign-off. The bill does two big things. First, it directs certain state-administered retirement and savings plans to offer a self-directed brokerage option that includes at least one crypto investment choice. Second, it affirms individual access to use and self-custody digital assets under state law. If signed, the measure would take effect July 1, 2026, a concrete signal that state-level policy is moving from prohibition to permissioned access. Sources: The Block and Crypto.news. Why should you care? Beyond symbolism, policy like this nudges plan providers and custodians to wire up compliant rails. Think due diligence lists, fee transparency, and beneficiary handling that make it easier for everyday savers to allocate a small slice to digital assets if they choose. It also foreshadows a patchwork where state pensions, 529 college savings plans, or ABLE accounts could eventually pilot crypto options, provided fiduciaries check the boxes on risk and cost. Source: The Block. Story 3. Telegram's self-custodial TON wallet is switching from simple storage to yield, rolling out on chain vaults for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT. The integrations lean on Morpho, TAC, and Re7, and the top USDT strategy is marketed today at a blended annual percentage yield of up to about 18%, variable, not guaranteed. The team says Wallet and Telegram now has more than 150 million registered users, and CEO Andrew Rogozov framed this as bridging sophisticated DeFi to hundreds of millions, directly inside the chat app experience. Source: The Block. There are two takeaways here. First, distribution. DeFi strategies front and center in a mainstream messaging app is a huge funnel. Discovery, deposit, and monitoring in one UI. Second, risk. Yields at those levels usually bundle smart contract, counterparty, and strategy risks. Even with reputable integrators, users should expect variability and read the fine print around lockups, slippage, and potential losses. Source: The Block. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery, we've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4. On Ethereum, researchers published a straw map, essentially a working draft roadmap, outlining 7 potential network forks through 2029. 2 headline goals: cut slot times from today's roughly 12 seconds down toward 2 seconds, and shrink finality from about 16 minutes to something between 6 and 16 seconds. The roadmap also flags features like native shielded transfers. Vitalik Buterin weighed in with an incremental pathway, Think reductions in slot times by roughly square root of 2 steps, 12, 8, 6, 4, 3, then 2 seconds, to manage complexity and client performance along the way. Sources: the block and fork log. If you're building on ETH, faster slots and near instant finality would reduce reorg risk and speed withdrawals, bridging and exchange confirmations, while raising important decentralization trade-offs. Shorter slots compress validator duties. Client teams will need to harden networking, proposer-builder separation, and MEV mitigation so smaller operators aren't squeezed out. The straw map label is key. It's meant to evolve as researchers test assumptions and gather community feedback. Source: the block. Story 5. Zooming back out, crypto's rebound today isn't just ETF-driven. It's also part of a broader risk on pulse tied to AI. Nvidia's latest quarter and guidance exceeded expectations, and that optimism bled into high beta corners of the market. Analysts described it as a sentiment reset, equities rip, macro anxiety eases a notch, and crypto, after a bruising few weeks, finally catches a bid. Prices reflected that. Bitcoin knocked on 69,500, Ether rallied harder, and even exchange-linked equities were choppy but stabilizing after hours. Source: Barron's. Quick recap before we wrap. Spot: Bitcoin ETFs flipped decisively positive with roughly $500 million of net inflows. Indiana's Bitcoin rights bill is on the governor's desk, with a July 1st start date if signed. Telegram's TON wallet turned on vault yields for BTC, ETH, and USDT. Headline annual percentage yields up to about 18%, with risks and variability included. Ethereum researchers dropped an ambitious multi-fork roadmap targeting 2-second slots and much faster finality. And across markets, Nvidia's beat helped crypto reclaim the narrative, at least for today. We'll keep tracking how policy, product, and macro flows keep shaping this tape. Thanks for listening and see you tomorrow.